Hello, I welcome you all to history session of K-Tech High School and Junior College. Children, today we will continue with the second part, that is India's internal challenges. Now, in the first part, children, we studied about the issues of Northeast India, that is Punjab, Operation Blue Star, and Operation Black Thunder. We also studied about the issues concerning Northeast India. That is, the one of the state about we studied was Mizoram. Now, children, we will pick up the issues of Nagaland. What were the issues they had? Now, Nagaland tribe, which is in the northeast India, is known as martial tribe. Now, what does martial means? Now, martial means that these people were always ready to fight. They were rebellious. Now, they had settled in the eastern Himalayas, that is Naga tribe. Naga hills border areas of Assam and Myanmar. Now, in 1946, some educated Naga youth, matlab young students, we can say, people, established an organization called Naga National Council, that is NNC. Now, this council demanded for an independent state of Nagaland. They wanted Nagaland to be considered, like Mizoram, an independent state. And the leader of this council was Angami Jhapu Fizo. Now, children, in 1954, this council announced the establishment of Independent Federation of Nagaland. And in 1955, skirmishes means a battle, was fought between local Nagas and the soldiers of Assam Rifles. The situation became so intense that military action was taken to suppress the skirmishes, that is, the battle. Now, several rounds of discussion took place between the central government and the Naga National Council. Means a meeting was held, many things were discussed, and then finally the central government decided to give Naga majority territory the status of union territory. Like Mizoram, Nagaland was also made a full-fledged state on 1st December 1963. That means Nagaland was also given the status of full-fledged state by our central government, putting together Naga majority territory and the parts of Yuan Shan. Now we will see the issues of Assam which the government had to tackle. In 1983, there was an intense agitation staged by all Assam Students Union and Assam Gana Sangram Parishad over the question of dominance in Assam of Bengali migrants. Now, what does this mean? Agitation means unrest, or we can say there was some discontentment among the people living in Assam. That is Students Union and Assam Gana Sangram Parishad. Because Assam being a territory for Assamese where people live, there were certain illegal Bengali migrants who had settled there. More of it. So which Assamese disagree often. Now in 1985, our Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, Central Home Minister Shankar Rao Chauhan, and Assamese leader Praful Kumar Mohanto signed an accord. Accord means an agreement was signed between them to send those Bangladeshi citizens who had infiltrated means had entered Assam and established themselves back to their original places, means to their homelands. In 1986, elections were also held, and Praful Kumar Mohanto of the Assam Gana Parishad became the new chief minister, and this led to establishment of peace in Assam. Now the next issue we will study about Arunachal Pradesh. Now in 1954 NEFA was created. You all know who created it, right? Jawaharlal Nehru. What does NEFA means? North East Frontier Agency. And why was it built? To protect the culture and the tradition of the tribal people. That means to protect their culture. Nehru had built up this agency comprising of Sino-Indian border. That is, Sino means China. In 1972, this region began to be called as Arunachal Pradesh. That is the region of rising sun. Why was it called? Because if you go to see, children, Arunachal Pradesh is on the east of India. So the sunrise is seen from Arunachal Pradesh. So it was called the region of sunrise. On 20th February 1987, it got the status of constituent state, means it was considered as one of an independent state. Now, from 1960 to 2000, Northeast India has progressed towards more mature democracy. Now, this area, that is Arunachal Pradesh, is on the path of progress through industrialization, spread of education, etc. And today also, children, it has been progressing. Now we move on to our next topic, Naxalite movement. Now, in introduction, I had already told you that this movement was started in Naxalbari region in Darjeeling, that is in West Bengal. Now, the people in Naxalbari organized a movement in which they revolted against the landlords who exploited them. These Naxalites were small landholding farmers and laborers who worked on farms. They took charge of their lands, put up red flags and declared that area as free territory in 1967. That means they hoisted a red flags and declared that area in which they worked or the lands as a free territory in 1967, and this is called Naxalite movement. Now children, this movement was set up with certain set objectives. Now the objectives of establishing action committees to raise a voice against exploitation of farmers by landlords and confiscate the land of the landlords and distribute it among the tenants. Now that was an objective, means first to establish action committee, raise a voice means put up their grievance against what? The exploitation of the farmers done by the hands of landlords. Confiscate, They also wanted to take away the land of the landlords and distribute among the small holding lands farmers and the laborers. That means the people who worked on the farms. But later on, children, the same Naxalite movement strayed away from its objectives, means to get lost or bhatak jana, and it indulged in terrorism or terrorist activity to prevent any government schemes and welfare policies from reaching the common people. Means they prevented the government schemes and welfare policies from reaching the common people. Now, this kind of activity we can term it as terrorist activities. The Naxalites started a parallel system. What was that parallel system? That they started rejecting the democratic system. Means they opposed the democratic system of government, and this made Naxalism a serious challenge to India's internal security. Now, the movement was mainly located in West Bengal. Means this movement was mainly working from West Bengal. Later, the movement spread to the East Godavari in Andhra Pradesh, parts of Visakhapatnam, Karimnagar in Telangana, Adilabad, Bastar, Rajanandagaon and Sukma in Chhattisgarh, Gadchiroli, Bhandara and parts of Chandrapur in Maharashtra, Balaghat and Mandala in Madhya Pradesh, and Koraput in Odisha. In order to maintain their influence, means who? Naxalites establish an organization called People's Liberation Guerrilla Army, PLGA. This conflict is, children, still going on. They are fighting for their rights. Now, let's start with communalism. Now, what does communalism means? That is caste discrimination, feeling of pride about one's own religion. This is also, children, a serious threat to the unity of the country, because if every person starts thinking that their religion is superior, it will cause disturbance in the region where people in India live together in one region belonging to different religion. Now, this seed of communalism was first sown by the British. They tried to divide Hindu-Muslim unity to rule our country. Now, people of different religion have been living here happily since many centuries. But when this pride becomes excessive, when a person starts thinking that their religion is best, then it turns into bigotry. One then begins to consider their religion as superior and other as inferior. This is called fanaticism. That is, a person when he has a strong belief towards his religion. Fanaticism is the base of communalism, means it is the root cause of communalism. It makes one oblivious of national interest. That means it makes a person forget about the interest of the country. People of different religion don't trust each other. They become suspicious of each other, means they start having doubts about each other. Compatriots following different religion are looked as enemies. Compatriots means fellow men. That means they start looking at each other as an enemies. Even commensality. Commensality means the act of eating together, means when people get together to celebrate certain tradition where they share the food, enjoy. This also becomes rare and it becomes difficult for everybody to come together and get organized for the demands and rights as citizen. It means, children, that if the people are only not united among themselves, they can never fight for their demands and rights as a citizen. Fanaticism makes perspective of looking at events and people prejudice, means people start building wrong opinion for their fellow men or for others. Some people begin to think of economic and social questions also in the framework of their own religion. That means related to religion. They start thinking that just because we are Hindus and Mohammedans will think just because we are Muslims, their importance has been reduced by the government as they are not considered as strong. People of different religions start thinking that since they belong to a particular religion, they have no influence in politics. And they also start thinking that they are being treated unjustly. And also think that government is partial against their religion. In such condition, they become too sensitive about their religion and their co-religionist. Suppose if anybody speaks ill about people of their religion or insult their religious symbol, knowingly or unknowingly, means जान के या अनजाने में, what happens? Riots break out because of this kind of thinking, that is fanaticism. Now when the riots break out, people are killed, public property worth crores of rupees is damaged, public peace is also destroyed, children. And due to this bitter memories of riots, people are estranged from each other, मतलब एक दूसरे से खिंचाव महसूस करने लगते हैं, and the trust is lost. Now children, if the trust breaks, then social unity also receives a great blow, because definitely I think you all believe that trust is a binding force between two people. So then how can a national unity be achieved without social unity? So children, it is necessary that we all counter, means attack, this religious communalism, means we must oppose this religious communalism with all our strength. Now for this we should mix with people of different religion, remain friendly with them and accept the good practices and ideas of each other, means we should exchange ideas and opinions irrespective of religion, thinking that he is particularly, we can say, Hindu or a Muslim. Just accept ideas and opinion with open heart, and then only we will be able to look and understand our economic and social problems rationally. And we should also search for economic, political or historical reason that is responsible for disturbing religious harmony, means we must look out for the cause. What are the reasons that is causing the disturbances among different religion? This is the only way to put an end to communalism and strengthen national unity. Now, children, let's move on to regionalism. Now, regionalism is also threat to unity. Means if a person feels extremely proud of the particular region he is living, like if Bengalis feel that the region they live is the best, Maharashtrians feel the Maharashtra is best place because much developed cities like Pune and Mumbai. Now, definitely it is nice, but excessive pride in one's own region can be very abnormal or harmful. Or we can say it's an unhealthy attitude towards a region. Now, regionalism, children, thrives on regional imbalance in development. Now, what does it mean? That means development in particular region. Now, after independence, that is post-independence period, some states achieved progress while some states remained backward. Now, we can take some examples of states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, developed economically and industrially. Now, there were some other states like Odisha, Bihar, Assam remained undeveloped economically and industrially. Now, children, if we go to see that certain states developed economically, so they also achieve progress in other fields like education, health, and culture. Now, the states which did not develop in that particular manner remain backward in education and civic amenities too. Now, children, sometimes it so happens that the opportunities of development is only available to certain developed states, but it is not possible to provide the same opportunity to the people in backward states, as they are not developed in the areas of education, health, and culture. The major problem they face here, children, is unemployment and poverty. And then they start thinking that they are being cheated, they are being kept away from the benefits of development. Because of this, the understanding between the states is broken. And this can have a negative impact on our national unity. The economic imbalance that has endangered this understanding needs to be set right. Means their opinion should change. Our government, children, are making more efforts, or we can say they are taking more efforts towards that direction. Regionalism can affect developed as well as undeveloped states. The people of developed state begins to believe that they are superior due to their superior history, culture, tradition, and hence they have developed that much. They feel that they have developed because of their rich tradition and culture. And they begin to look down upon the people of underdeveloped region. They are not willing to share the benefits of development with the backward states. So, on other hand, the people from the backward areas need to arouse their regional identity to organize themselves. Now here, what do these people of backward region try to arouse? Means what do they try to do? They try to glorify their local tradition and culture to prove their uniqueness, showing that their region is much better. They means everybody is in the race to show their superiority. And this leads to regionalism. it endangers national unity. Definitely, it will endanger national unity. The evil of regionalism can be tackled by reducing imbalance in development. That means the efforts must be made towards reducing this imbalance in backward areas. Now, children, we have studied few challenges that India is facing. Apart from this, there are several other problems like overpopulation, cleanliness, agriculture, and the problems of farmers, poverty, housing, food. These are the major problems that India is facing, and we are trying to overcome this and move forward. We are progressing steadily. So, in the next chapter, children, we will learn about the progress in the economic field, that is, how India has developed economically. Now, with this, we end our chapter, that is internal challenges. See you in the next session.